Hey guys, what's up, Zyflin here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Hydroid out of all frames in Warframe in 2019. Now, there's two main ways of playing Hydroid. There is Corroding Barrage, and there is Pilfering Swarm. Now, Pilfering Swarm, you used to use that while you were playing with a Necros player to maximize on resource gain, because it is an augment mod for Hydroid's fourth ability, which basically rerolled the drop tables of enemies who were touched by the tentacles on your 4, right? They've changed it now so that it doesn't stack. So if you're thinking about stacking Necros plus Hydroid to maximize on that, unfortunately you can't do that anymore. All the tentacle has to do is touch the bad guy, and then once that bad guy dies, they're going to drop hopefully double the loot, right? So let's talk about the Corroding Barrage one first, because that, in my opinion, is the more interesting one to play, and it's the one that kind of has the most depth and takes a little bit more, I almost said explaining, right? So, we've got Vitality on here for health, obviously, Intensify on here for strength, with Power Drift on here, Corroding Barrage, the augment mod, Prime Flow for more energy, because we're going to need it. There's a few Drain Over Time abilities that we can use in this build, Streamline and Fleeting with Prime Continuity to minimize that drain over time, and then Cruise Protection on here to maximize the amount of damage that we deal versus armored targets. You can use whatever you want to use in your aura slot, doesn't really matter. So, let's take a look at the abilities and what they do. So the first ability is your barrage, right? You can hold this down, and then you can aim it. This little blue radius right here is where your barrage is going to go. Let go of your 1, and then it's going to rain, basically, and this is going to deal damage to the bad guys. Second ability is a little surf. It's basically a mobility ability. It deals a little bit of damage as well, but I would just use it for mobility. Third ability, you turn into a puddle. Seriously. You can also grab enemies into your puddle, and it's going to deal damage over time. We're going to be using this in conjunction with our 1 to deal a shit ton of damage. And then the fourth ability, you can hold this down and charge it as well. It affects a way larger radius than your 1. It is going to unleash the Kraken, and it's going to bring out the tentacles and fling the bad guys around. Deals okay damage. These guys are level 60. It's alright versus low level enemies that have no armor. Not the most damaging ability in the world, but my second build that I'm going to use kind of changes that just a little bit versus the enemies that you'd be farming anyways with this type of build. So, let's go ahead and test out the Barrage build. Now, the Barrage build is used to kill higher level enemies with Hydroid and make him somewhat usable, right? We're going to keep the enemies paused. Keeping the enemies paused doesn't give us any type of damage bonus. So, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be turned into a puddle. This is basically your gameplay. You can also use your 2 while in puddle mode to move around, so keep that in mind. We're going to be in our puddle, and we're going to grab every single enemy into our puddle. They're just going to chill with us, quite literally. Yep. If you move around, the enemies are going to come out of your puddle, so don't stray too far. So you see that guy just got out of our puddle. We want to eat him back up again, so we just go back to him. These guys are all in our puddle. What we want to do is we want to cast our 1 on our puddle. And what this is going to do is this is going to strip away the enemy's armor of the enemies that are in our puddle. And this puddle is dealing damage over time. So you're stripping away the enemy's armor and dealing damage over time to them. So they're all just dying. We've got 4 enemies left, 3 enemies left, 2 enemies left, 1 enemy left, and they're all dead. Hydroid, everybody. That's how you play Hydroid versus high-level enemies. We have all of our energy still. I'm guessing we picked up energy orb right there, but just to show you, Corroding Barrage, the augment just makes it so that the enemy's armor gets stripped away. So they're going to get knocked down. It takes a little while for the enemy's armor to be completely stripped, but it's a decent armor strip ability. Not the best in the game, but it's definitely pretty good. So there you go, you can see all of their armor is stripped, and we just go in here, puddle mode, and then we just use our Corroding Barrage yet again. You can also use your Kraken in here too, if you really, really want to fling enemies around and increase your DPS. And there you go. That's how you use your Corroding Barrage with Hydroid. pretty cool, pretty unique, pretty fun. It's definitely an interesting design, but the build that most people are going to be using is probably our, what's it called build? Our Pilfering Swarm build. Now, mine's is a lot different to a lot of other players. I opt for very little duration, a lot of efficiency, a lot of range, well, a decent amount of range, and a lot of strength, because I want those enemies to die, right? I want to be able to sit in the one position, press 4, and I want the bad guys to die. So this is the build that I put together for that. Never put together a Umbral build for Hydroid because I just never seen the point, because I wouldn't be going into high-end content with Hydroid, so, you know, take it or leave it, I guess. We've got Streamline on here and Fleet Expertise for our efficiency. We've got Pilfering Swarm, the Augment on here to, you know, reroll the drop tables and get more loot. Vitality on here for health. Intensify, plus Power Drift and Transient Fortitude for Power Strength. Stretch on here for range. Prime Flow on here for energy. You don't necessarily need this. You can swap it out for something else if you want to, and sustain your energy by using the spoiler mode. You guys know what I'm talking about, who know what I'm talking about. And an energy siphon on here to maintain my energy, basically, because, yeah, maintaining energy is high IQ, you know, for those of you who don't have the spoiler mode, right? So, all you do with this build is you would get, you know, let's say, chargers or something. Let's say you wanted to farm, what do you get from chargers? I don't know. You wanted to farm something, you would go to your chargers. Let's make them, like, maybe level, what level are they in the star chart? We'll say 45. Yeah, they'd be about level 45, and then you would use your Pilfering Swarm. You know, cover as many enemies as possible with a single cast. So you might want to go, like, maybe here? Those are heavy gunners. So yeah, you go, like, there, and it would, you know, knock all the enemies in there, and you get additional loot. So that's how you'd farm resources with Hydroid. Like I said, doesn't stack with Necros anymore, which is pretty sad. But, yeah, you know, I usually use Hydroid. I use Hydroid mainly for toroid farming. You know, the thing that you need for your, what's it called, standing? Your Orvalis, Voxolaris, whatever. That's what I use Hydroid for. And there's nothing really else to him that I can think of off by heart. With the build that I'm running for Pilfering Swarm, your other abilities are pretty poopy. You know, your puddle, not the best, and whatever. You could just sit in your puddle and use your 4 to farm some loot if you really wanted to. So that's a thing as well. But other than that, there's not a lot else I can say about Hydroid. Let me see if I have any more of his augments or anything. I don't think I do. Corroding Barge. Nah, I don't have any more of his augments. They must not be interested enough for me to go out of my way to pick up. But, yeah, you can replace Vitality, you can replace Prime Flow in this build if you really want to, and then on the other build, if you really wanted to replace Vitality, you could do so. Would recommend replacing Prime Flow because it's straight over time, even though it looked like we barely lost any energy, so it's up to yourself if you want to replace Prime Flow on this, but, you know, you could probably replace these for, you know, more damage, more range. That's what I would opt for. No real point stacking duration or anything like that, and you've already hit the efficiency cap, so, you know, nothing else more you can really do. Pretty boring frame to mod, but, you know, let's just go ahead and dive around in the Corroding Barge build again. We'll spawn in like a mixture of heavy gunners and bombards, I guess. So we got the heavy gunner. We'll spawn in 10 of them. I'll make them the highest level I can possibly make them, which for me is 165, because I'm MR27 at the time of making this video. And we got the bombards. So this is a good mixture of different enemies. Actually, we need to kill these guys. There we go. Cool, let's simulate. So we jump over, we initiate, we press R3, we use R1, and then we can also use R4 if we really want to. And I would just keep on using your 1 in the puddle. And that's gonna make the bad guys die pretty fast. Now we just go ahead and we do a big old surf. No, not off the map! We do a big old surf over the other bad guys. And we eat them up one by one. Big noms. Huge noms. Pretty slow movement speed in this thing. And then you just go ahead and eat on them with your Corroding Barge. I wonder if Volt's speed ability makes it so you can go faster in the water. That would be cool to have. That would definitely be cool to have. Are they all dead yet? They're not. It's still scaling up a little bit. Keep on stripping away the enemy's armor. These are 4. Why not? Big Kraken. Huge Kraken. Are they dead yet? 6 left still. We're not stripping on the armor hard enough. Come on, get stripped harder, my dudes. Get stripped harder. It's not working. I wonder what we're at. Oh, they were so low. Their armor wasn't completely stripped, that's why. Unfortunate, my dude. Should be completely stripped pretty soon, though. Pretty soon. There you go. Then you can just finish them off with whatever you have at the moment in time. Or at that moment in time. Don't have the best build on my, what is this, Tiburon? Tiburon, for that. Yeah, but those are level 165 bombards. They have a lot of armor built in, so yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you play Hydroid. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit like. If you learned something new, hit subscribe. Want more Warframe videos, also hit subscribe. Do all the cool stuff and things. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.